Hey everyone, I'm Erica and that's Cody,
That's me.
and we are Unarticulate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
What
are.
what do we do? Who knows?
Uh we talk about life. This is not a lifestyle podcast. This is you listening to our lifestyle podcast. Yep. And what do we talk about? We talk about us because we're narcissistic. Not official. This is speculation. And
We don't actually know. Who knows?
I just sit here and smile and drink LaCroix.
Oh, I don't have a LaCroix today. I just have.
Why would you deceive me?
You just have what? How does this look like water? This is a whole hydro
This
flask.
this water
That's
has no carbon in it.
that's green.
I'm gonna get really verbally aggressive by the lack of carbonation in my water. Listen, I went from never drinking water to drinking out of a Brita every day for an entire 2 years, and then just not drinking water again. And then out of nowhere, seltzer water just came back into my life or whatever, and I'm just like, how is my brain okay?
It's
Like,
because
has
you like.
anyone checked? It's been a while, you know.
It's because you like bubbly. You were all about
Yeah.
bubbly, and that was the thing.
Yeah, but before that, there was a stint of time where there was just it was not water. There was no water, and before that small stint was just everything water, gallon a day, like nobody's business. And my brain was just happy, and it was at the capacity in terms of like hydration of where it should be. And now here we are, and I just don't drink water. So I read or I didn't read somewhere. Someone told me somewhere that dehydration is all it is that because your brain isn't receiving enough water, that it's shrinking, and the headache is coming from your brain peeling away from the skull cap. And I was like, what? And they were like, well, if we just phrase dehydration that way, people would drink a lot more water. And I was like, you're damn right. And so then every day since, I've been drinking a lot more water.
Well, I hate everything about that.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know who you are. I don't know the accuracy of your statement, but you are officially the doctor of science. I that's how degrees work. I just gave him an honorary degree of you are correct, sir.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yep, that's it.
That's gross.
Nick, just so you know, I am turning this down a little bit because I think I'm a little high. Like, not on drugs. Wait, can I not go down anymore? Oh, I'll push it away from me. I just look really high on the charts there, so I'll resume now after I move it now. Okay. So that's where I'm at. My brain is pulling away, and I'm trying to put my brain back in its place.
Your brain is shrinking.
Yeah, I don't know the scientific fact of all the things I said, but it was enough to get me to get back to water.
Water and I took a break, but
Mm-hmm.
in our relationship, but we got back. We got back to it.
Absolutely. Sometimes you need to see other people. I saw a lot of Dr. Pepper and cream soda together. Oh, 10 out of 10.
Together.
Oh, yeah. The new Dr. Pepper cream soda. It's Dr. Pepper and cream soda together, you know? And
Thank
yeah,
you for
it's,
explaining that to me.
yeah. Sometimes, so speaking of explaining, this is completely on a tangent now. I don't. So I am a male, and I am a cisgender male, and I don't completely understand mansplaining. So I always, every time I have to explain something, I always apologize if I am mansplaining. And the amount of times that people have been like, "That's not mansplaining." For me to be like, I just want to make sure that if it is, I'm sorry. I just don't know what it means and how it happens. And I'm like, can you mansplain mansplaining to me? And they're like, my one friend was like, so basically it just means that you're dumbing things down and using sexist comments to, like make sense, or for someone to make sense of anything using, sexist perspectives and stuff like that. And I'm just like, can you dumb that down for me? Yeah. And I mean, I do kind of get it. Like, I wouldn't explain like the Pythagorean theorem using, if I'm talking to a female, or a person who seems to be female, I wouldn't be like, well, remember when you go shopping and the bag that you carry, that's related to the Pythagorean theorem. Like, that makes sense to me. Like, I can see how that's stupid and that's mansplaining. Um,
I
I
went to
guess.
so
Yeah.
here. I went to see The Incredibles when I did camps and conferences many summers ago at
Mm-hmm.
this point, and you know our one friend Barry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I went with Barry and Liz and and I sat between them. And Barry at one point in time, like, the character on screen is like visibly upset, like visibly angry, and Barry goes, "He's really upset right now, Erica." And
That sounds like Barry.
and I was like, and I just like I stopped and I looked at him and I was like, "Wow, I couldn't tell that he was upset. I had no idea. I thought he was happy. That's not your happy face." In the middle of the theater. The middle of the theater. So that's like an
Okay.
example of mansplaining, I guess.
See, I
Um,
wouldn't see that as that. I think he's just being snarky because that's
he
his
was,
personality.
yeah,
Like he
well,
was
that's
just
why,
being a butt face.
yeah, that's why I said I guess. Like that's
Mm.
the best example I have. Because then he's like sitting next to me, like trying to hold himself together because he's
I
laughing.
I hate Barry sometimes. Like in the loving way, I hate Barry sometimes. I'm just like, who raised you? Who trained you to be this way?
He's wild.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I I have not heard that name in a long time.
Yeah,
I hope he's doing great things.
I hope so too.
So anyway, apparently I mansplain, or maybe I don't.
Good,
Have
good.
I ever done it to you?
I don't, not that if, blah. I don't think you have, or not that I've
Mm.
like paid attention to. Um, but I think
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm
I think
following.
that I am just so aggressive and sometimes self-absorbed
Mm.
that you can laugh. It's funny. Um,
I don't understand how that has to do with me explaining things to people. You're like, I'm a problem, and I'm like, but I thought I was the problem.
no, that I just don't pay attention to it when
Got
it
it.
happens. That's where I was going with that. Where I was like,
Okay.
I am just abrasive. I think I think like mansplaining, quote unquote, comes to me like how I perceive it is like super sarcastic. So I usually just meet it back
Oh,
with more sarcasm.
that sounds like you.
Yeah. So like that's I think that's why like if you've ever said something like that to me where I've just been like I'm gonna snark back at you, snark, take it,
With a snap.
take my snark.
Like that. Oh my. Were you around for the snap game where you'd like pass snaps?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay. It's super stupid. But I thought that's what we were doing virtually for a second there. I was like, I hope these snaps are happening. Nick, make my snaps important.
Oh, Nick.
I'll make it a sound that I could play it on here that it'll just be snap. Snap.
And it like
we,
floats away.
we're also going to start an ASMR channel that's just all the weird sounds that we've made on this podcast so far. Um,
If we did that, people would be like, "Are they talking to aliens? Like,
maybe.
are they communicating? Yep. Are they communicating with outer space?"
Speaking of aliens, so I've been playing The Sims 4 a lot lately, and for some reason, I really don't like occult Sims. So vampires, aliens,
Oh, okay,
the
yeah.
warlock switches. They now have mermaids in this game, and I'm like, who is she? What?
What is
Um,
happening?
but I never really played with occult Sims before. I just really like the stuff that comes with the packs. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try the whole vampire thing, and I'm not vibing. I'm
You're
not
not a
an occult
vampire?
Sims player, no. And aliens, I mean, there's this thing where if a male Sim um,
Yes.
gets abducted, then they can become pregnant by an alien.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. But I'm like, that doesn't sound like my type of gameplay. I'm much more of your like family or like a rags to riches where you start with nothing type of player.
That's fair.
Whatever. So
You
what's
know.
up with you? We just kind of skimmed over. This is crunch time. Fast paced, rapid fire. What's going on with you?
Uh,
Just kidding. Take
I
your time.
built a bonsai tree.
Yay!
Yeah, here. So
I want to see it.
Lego has this stuff. Lego has this stuff. Lego has Legos.
Yeah, you remember right.
But look, it's a
Look
little
at
bonsai
that.
tree. But
Even though I saw it on Snapchat, I'm just gonna act like I've never seen it.
I've
That
never
is
seen
so
that.
amazing! Oh my god, I've
Look
never
at it.
seen something like that before.
Maybe we'll put a picture on Instagram. I don't know. We really suck at Instagram. It's fine.
Yeah, I
We'll
feel
get
like I sound like every parent ever by their child who like is like, look at this that I can do, and they do like a spin, and you're like, whoa, and then they turn away, and you're like, that was a waste of my time.
listen.
No, that looks awesome.
Shut up. This tree. So I realized that I hate puzzles, but I love constructing things.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
what I've realized through like quarantine and just this year is that like I will build stuff like 3D puzzles. I hate puzzles. Like if I can't build it up, I don't want to do it. So that's why I like Legos apparently, but they have a I think it's their botanical collection. Sure. But the bonsai tree it has this model of it where it's the
Mm-hmm.
cherry blossoms, and it actually has like little green pieces to where you can have actual green bonsai tree. But I did this one because they're little frogs.
That no, that looks odd. For a
They're
reason, it
frogs.
doesn't look like to me like a bonsai tree. It honestly looks almost like a from Avatar, like the trees in that.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot less in Avatar. There are a lot more willow tree in terms of like the hangy stuff, but to me that looks like that, and I like it.
Mm-hmm. The little frogs. Little frogs.
Main takeaway: little frogs equal important. Good,
Little
good,
frogs.
good.
I love little frogs. I
Uh huh.
have a tiny glass frog in my car that I've had since I bought my car. Yeah, I poster
Mm,
puttied it to it's like right above the air conditioner on the driver's
got it.
side. I was like, I'm just moving my hands around. Um but I've had that frog for forever and I got an oil change before I went and got my second round of COVID vaccine. I need to stop saying second round of COVID because it sounds bad. um
Hmm.
but when I got
A little bit.
my second dose of the vaccine, and the people that did my oil change, the one guy was like, "Oh, look at that little guy," and I was like, "Don't touch my frog."
Just verbally aggress the man that's changing your car
like,
stuff.
like it's helping me out.
Yeah. I mean, you're paying him, so it's fine. You can verbally aggress him a little bit. You could be a Karen.
No, I never want to be a Karen.
Yeah. My mom, I think I said this on the podcast before. My mom's name is Karen, and she is not the epitome of a Karen.
Which is good.
Yes. She's a nice lady. Her and Anita having their own podcast. Not
Maybe
true.
it'll happen one day.
Never.
It would
My
be
mom,
really
I think my
confusing.
mom would be like, I don't understand the purpose of this. And I'm like, Mom, you just talk. And she'd be like, this is stupid.
My mom would be like, "I don't want to be on the internet like that, Erica."
Yeah. I feel like my mom wouldn't know what to talk about. She's too I think because she's in nursing, she's very analytical. So it just wouldn't make sense to be creative in that way to just talk. She'd be like, "Well, what am I going to talk about?" I'm like, "Mom, I don't freaking know. It's your podcast. Just speak."
Just say,
Anita will respond.
and then Anita will say things.
I know. It's like a conversation, Karen. Anyway, anything else up with you?
Um, no, this weekend was very boring. It was boring but like needed because
Mm.
round two round two was a very interesting time. And at one point in time I willed myself to feel better
Oh,
so that I could go and have my shoulder situation looked at by the
gotcha.
massage therapy guy. Um, who's great. He does a great job. What?
I hear all of the sirens.
Oh, my window's open. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everybody. My window is open, and I like The campus I live on is like a micro city.
Wow. That was really bad.
You just said wow. Wow. It's an
Wow.
avocado.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Amazing. Amazing. So you had a relaxation weekend, more or less.
It was chill. It was
Chill.
needed because I thought I was dying.
Everything hurts and I'm dying.
It's
Um,
like I don't think I'm
yeah,
okay. But yeah,
yeah, it is what it is.
what about you?
What did I do?
How now?
I uh I had all the things listed and then it just disappeared. Because of the nature of college, and I work on a college campus, it was finals week and everyone moved
Mm.
out this past weekend. And I, now everyone knows, like, we closed on Friday, we checked everything on Saturday, and all of our peoples left. Now, my brain, because I worked on Saturday, said it's Friday. So I didn't do anything yesterday, aka Sunday, thinking that it was Saturday, and then it was 8:30 and I had no laundry for work today. So I was like, I need to do all the quick cleaning at 8:30 at night. And that was a lot.
Oh
But I did
no.
no, I listen, I need to get it together and stop postponing things to the weekend, but also here's to the freaking weekend
Yes,
because that's what I think Rihanna said.
I think so too. I did laundry. I did
Yeah.
that this weekend
I'm
because
glad
I
that's
was
what this podcast has come to. Laundry? I did. Adult? Me too.
I did laundry
Yeah.
because I was so sweaty. I was so sweaty from having a fever to not having a fever to then willing it away for the day to then developing it again to be more sweaty, and I was like I can't fall asleep on my
Hmm.
own sweat. It was gross because the first time I got up, whenever the first night that it happened, I got up to get more water because I was like, I'm gonna flush this out of my system. I can do it. And I laid back down into my own pool of sweat and was like, you are a disgusting creature.
Nice.
I am a sweaty monster. Like on a
Not a
normal
sweaty.
day, but like sweaty monster.
Yeah. I don't think I sweat too much, but I do a lot. That makes no sense, but it's true.
I don't sweat, but maybe sometimes.
A
A
lot.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it tends to be that I'm just irresponsible when it comes to weather outside. Like, I'll check the weather and still be irresponsibly dressed. 90 degrees, sweatshirt. Like what? I think I've openly communicated this to like all of my friends. If I am wearing a sweatshirt, I am most likely not wearing anything underneath the sweatshirt. So all of that
Yes.
like harsh cotton is literally touching my very sweaty body, which just produces more sweat. So I honestly am helping nobody other than myself. Or I'm not helping myself in any capacity. What am I saying? Yes. I am Sweaty. That's my
You're
name. Hello, my name is Sweaty, and this is
you're,
Unarticulate
you're a
with
sweat
Sweaty
goblin
and
too.
yeah. Uh, what else have I done other than sweat? I I actually started reading. What? I know, I finally did it, right? I read about 50 pages of Paula Hopkins' second book, Into the Water. Her first being, or the first major one was The Girl on the Train.
Okay.
Yep. So her second novel was Into the Water. 50 pages in. Sounds really stupid. I'm not quite at the part where it like picks up. All so far that has happened. Now the title is Into the Water. So what do you think it is? It's
In the
about water.
water.
Yeah. Yep. It's about water. So there's this lake and basically people have drowned and like the
Oh.
main characters are all affected by these people drowning and there's just a mystery about going into the water and the water has like these features that make people want to go into it and then they just die and I'm like this is stupid. So again, I'm only 50 pages in and I'm sure it's going to get better, but I put it down and then I was like, "You know what? I'm going to watch Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan." With Lindsay Lohan and oh, what's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yep. And and that's how I finished out my Sunday. Me Sunday.
Oh.
Sorry, everything has to pair it back right to Game of Thrones.
Game of
Send
Thrones.
a
I want to rewatch it. I really want them to send me like I would love it for
uh
them to send me the chest
the
thing that they
Marathon.
had. Yes.
I know
But
I'm a little salty.
I will buy it. I just need them to sell it.
Got it.
Like I would gladly buy that, but like
Yeah.
they're not out here trying to get money and now everything in my house can't look like Game of Thrones because they're not making stuff anymore.
I mean, I don't know who possibly would have an apartment that looks like Game of Thrones.
Well, did I ever tell you that that's what one of my coworkers told me whenever I bought Storm?
That it your apartment's very Game of Thrones,
He was like, everything in your house looks like it came out of Game of Thrones, including your dog.
and you were like, Jasper the skeleton is from the Game of Thrones set. Thank you.
But that's he does look like.
I mean, it's a little freaky, but it's all right.
Maybe we'll post a picture of that too. We have so many things to post.
I'm so sorry, Jasper. I know he can't hear me because he's plastic. But
And not alive.
yeah, yeah. Usually, you're right. The usual thing is that it's inanimate, but I just brought up that he's plastic. You're correct. Um, yeah, I do love Game of
Like
Thrones, and we should totally binge Game of Thrones and then turn this into a Game of Thrones podcast because that makes sense.
Game of Thrones review.
I
We're
know.
gonna
We'll
lose
just have to have
half
a new
of our
one.
11 people.
Listen, we're down. What are you guys doing? Tell all of your friends. Make them watch it with you. That's not how that works. This is
Wait,
aggression.
wait, did we lose an 11th, like our 11th
I don't
people?
know what's happening.
Oh, our 11 people from day one.
I know. Anita's one of them, right?
She can't find it anymore.
Anita, no!
She can't find it anymore.
I'm a little upset with your mom.
Yeah, that's okay.
She said I couldn't find it. You know what that means? She's not looking hard enough.
Well, it also like so her house robot did her a little bit I'm calling it a house robot. Insert the name of the thing because I don't want mine to go off. Um but her house robot did her
The
dirty in this.
vacuumy thing?
No, like the thing like Google Home but Amazon.
Oh,
Again,
got you.
I'm not saying it on purpose so that mine doesn't go off. So I call them house robots because they just talk to you and tell you things at the request of you. Um,
Got it. Like Smart House.
yes. Oh, I love that movie. What a
I
good
love that movie
movie.
too. I know.
It was such a good movie.
Yeah.
That the male actor in that was in so many things at that point in time too, because he was also in The Luck of the Irish. Was that what that movie was called?
Maybe. Did I
Because
tell
I
you about my irrational fear with the 13th year? Did I talk about that here?
I don't know,
Anyway,
maybe
we'll
you
come
did.
back to that. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Okay.
But so her house robot, she has 3 of them now. So there's one upstairs, one downstairs, and one in the kitchen. And they don't sync up. Well, 2 of them sync up and the other one doesn't. But she tried to get it to play the podcast and it was like, you need to buy a subscription. And she's like, I'm not doing that.
Your mom wouldn't pay to listen to us.
Well, because there are free options.
That's not what I heard. I heard that she doesn't want to pay for us.
She's paid for me for a long time.
Yeah, you're right. It's hard being a mother. I could assume.
Yes. All right, so
I'll
this
ask
13th,
Karen.
13th
So, if you remember the 1999 made for TV Disney Channel original movie, The 13th Year, featuring this guy who is a foster child, adopted child, whatever. His name is Cody. That's a very important piece to this entire story, right? So his
Well,
name's Cody, and he turns 13, and he starts to develop qualities that make him a fish, and so um, he
because
eventually finds out that his parents a mermaid. Yeah,
don't they put his legs on like ice or at one point in
yeah,
time?
and then he develops a tail in terms of like a mermaid tail fin thing, and then he finds out he's a mermaid, and He's a very active swimmer, and it didn't happen until he was turned 13. So now there was a little boy that was also named Cody that was an avid swimmer that was on the swim team in elementary and high school. And when he turned 13, he was worried that he was going to turn into a fish. So, long story short, I thought I was turning into a fish when I turned 13.
That's
Yep, you
beautiful.
take that in. You take that in.
I will.
Yep. So
I don't.
I so I'm glad I've made it this far. I am 24. 11 years have passed, and I've taken many a shower, a bath. I've gone swimming many times, and I haven't grown gills or a mermaid tail. So I've made it.
We've gone swimming together.
I was hiding the fins.
Just sneaking them in there. Well, we went whenever I was having all that back pain, and
Mm,
sat in the jacuzzi.
mhm.
So I
That is,
probably didn't pay attention to your fins.
they were there.
Damn.
They were somewhere.
I'm upset I missed out on that. I don't know that I have any traumatizing movies that have impacted my life.
It is what it is. Oh, well, I'm glad that nothing has impacted you that much.
I mean,
I don't know if that's what you want to hear, but
no,
yeah.
I don't have any funny stories like that. The Ring used to freak me out,
Yo,
but
for
like The Ring
real.
freaked everybody out.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Scary Movie?
Which one?
Any of them?
The Take My Strong Hand. That's the one I
That's
know.
okay. So I think that's the first one. Um, that might be the second one, but specifically the third covers the ring. And
Well, I
what?
probably never watched that because for like 5 years, no, like 10 years, not even five, 10 years, I couldn't watch it. Like I couldn't watch anything Ring related because I was
Uh,
so afraid that she was just gonna find me.
right. Okay. Well, I encourage you to watch Scream 3 because there's a scene that
Scream
copies
3?
the ring. Yes. Oh, sorry. Well, Scream 3 was the Scary Movie 3. It covers the ring, and I can't remember her name. It's either Regina Hall, Regina Hill, or Regina. I think Meeks was a character that was in the movie. I think it's Regina Hall. Um, Her character, she's standing at the TV, and like the ring piece is happening. And she's like, Sydney, the TV's leaking. and then when she and then when it's like she comes out of the TV. She's like, "This white bitch is getting all the water up on my floor," and literally, I died. I'm probably messing up exactly what she said, but it was the aspect of being so afraid of the ring for her to just come in and make it that funny for me. Just kind of deterred any type of fear I had over the ring.
That's
Um,
fair.
yeah, those movies, those movies are so good. They're so bad, but they're good. So.
Which one is the one where it's like it's kind of I'm trying my laptop's not plugged in. It's
Mhm.
not well, it's plugged in but it's not charging, so I was a little confused. There we go. What's the one where like the alien abduction stuff is happening?
Scary Movie 4.
Okay, I know that one too.
Is it Scary Movie 4? They all kind of blend together now that I'm older.
Yes.
Um, whoops,
Whoops.
whoops. Yeah, whatever. So you may be thinking to yourself, what are we going to talk about? And I know that's my job this time. So I was kind of inspired by so many things and realized that so many things that I was inspired by were things that we talked about already. So when we were talking about setting up for the podcast today, I was like, why don't we talk about like a greatest character flaw? And then I was like, didn't we already talk about that? And you were like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, well, shit. And then I was like, what about I don't know. I was inspired by the fact that I just randomly decided to watch Freaky Friday yesterday. Again, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, great in that movie. It was very funny, and I still laughed a lot, and I would watch it again. Um, By the way, if you look at this, I'm not telling you that I looked it up or anything like that, but if you were to look up the soundtrack um, on Apple Music, you can only listen to the song that Lindsay Lohan sings at the very end at the wedding. You can't listen to the song that's played at the beginning nor at the Jam Festival.
Oh, that's
For some
upsetting.
reason, that's not available in the United States. Like you have to find it somehow else. But
I don't like
that
that.
wherever I know, I was like, I kind of want to hear that right now. It's just like, yeah, and I'm like, that's yep, that's all I know. No, it's a great movie. So again, the topic's minimal. So I always have this handy dandy deck of cards that says prompts, and then we just kind of talk about it and whether or not that really does anything. You know, it is what it is. So
This is like the third time you've said it is what it is.
I know this is what I do when I just when I'm awkward and I don't know what to do in a situation, and I could just hear all of my CAs or my RAs, whatever you want to call them. I could just hear all of them in my head going, "It is what it is," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
That's what I was waiting for.
So, what movie title describes your last relationship? What? What a transition. Um,
No.
think about it. Let's talk about it. What title describes your last, or what movie title describes your last relationship?
Well, is it movie title or like actual movie?
It says movie title. Ugh,
Yes,
were you not listening?
I was, but like I have
Uh,
a movie, not a
should I
movie
just say
title,
Scream?
huh?
Should I say Scream?
No.
But like, just like ah, you know what I mean? Like an angry scream.
Um, no, because I don't. My last relationship honestly wasn't bad. It's just like we grew apart from each other. I know. How?
You know, see, I would do so much better with this if it were song titles, because right now I could tell you, great John Bellion song featuring Alesso is "Good Things Fall Apart."
Yeah. Yeah.
Ciao. Yeah.
I well, because I like the reason I asked asshole is because is because the movie, like the actual movie called Someone Great,
Mm,
I think is a good example of what that relationship was like, of like it being really good, and then like I moved away and we kind of grew apart,
yeah.
and that was that. And that's
Yeah.
okay. Because like that's what
Yeah.
happens in that movie. Spoiler alert to people who haven't watched that movie. You should, specifically for the scene where they are singing Lizzo in her
When they
apartment.
fall apart.
Yep. It's so good.
So I guess mine would be Freaky Friday. Mine's Freaky Friday.
Is it Freaky Friday in the sense of
No.
like the Drake song? Is it Drake?
No. It's Chris Brown and
That's right. How
Lil.
I'm so sorry, Drake.
See,
Drake deserves
Drake
better.
actually does a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, Drake
Um,
deserves better. I'm sorry, Drake.
The Witcher. That's not a movie. I genuinely am so bad. I could do so much better with music. So I actually talked about this when I was talking to you before the podcast of what are your vices? Have they ever gotten better or worse over time?
Um, I think one of my main vices used to be, it kind of still is that like I used to run until everything hurt, so that like that was how I got like any stress, frustration, pain out. And I don't do that as much now, but I definitely do work out in the sense of like working out to like push myself to the limit and then be like I'm tired,
Mhm.
like I'm good. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm good now.
Yeah.
It's usually like physical like that, or like sometimes um there was a point in time back to spending where I know.
Why would you attack me like that?
Listen, I'm right there with you. Where
7 Funko Pops came in today. Just let's okay, let's move on. Yep.
perspective. Um but there was there was a point in time where I would just buy things that like made me happy and not like thinking about the impact that they had on myself, my finances, the environment. Um, so I would say that they've gotten better and that I'm a little bit more money conscious now, but I also
Uh,
did just buy a bonsai tree that has little frogs as petals. So, and I have a stupid amount of books that I need to read, but I kind of gave up on buying books until I've got through a good chunk of them. And I'm excited to get through a good chunk of them because that's what this summer is going to be about whenever I like go
mhm.
adventure, but also do my thing. And as
Right.
far as like pushing myself to feel pain, um, I think I also just like go outside more
Mm,
instead of
okay.
like trying to like be like you're gonna work so hard that you are exhausted.
Yeah.
So I think those are like because I can't drink. It's never been a thing for me. Um, Weed is legal in New Jersey, but I wouldn't even say that that's a vice. That's more of like sometimes I do it to go to bed.
Yeah.
So like that's more of like I haven't been sleeping. I need to sleep recently. So total side note, I don't know how true this is, so like I need to fact check some things. But there was somebody on TikTok of all places, so that's why I'm like I also should fact check this. But somebody was like, "Yeah, melatonin is a hormone and it's not actually good for you." And I was like, "What is this blasphemy?" And now I'm like freaked out by it, so I've been doing CBD before bed.
Yeah, but like now that I think about it, that has to be so true. First of all, remember when TikTok didn't exist? Next part. Uh, every time I take melatonin, I am so restless the entire night. It actually does nothing for me, but I habitually go in my head and I say, melatonin's going to help you sleep, and it never does. So, what are my vices? I
We
was
were
like,
talking
I
about
don't know.
melatonin.
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right. We took a quick break. I can't speak. And yeah, melatonin's stupid. We have to fact check it. Don't believe everything you hear on TikTok, but also what is real. What?
Also, don't
So,
believe everything you hear in a podcast either, because we could be wrong, but we're gonna
we only
fact check
speak
that.
fact, you know? Don't tell the people we're going to fact check. You and I both know that's not
I'm
true.
gonna fact check because I need to know if melatonin is trying to like mess with my
If
vibe.
it's coming for me or not. Um, what are my vices? I feel like the greatest downfalls. Um, I mean, I just think I'm so extroverted. I can't even speak. I think I'm so extroverted that it comes to a fault of
Wait, are
I.
you talking about downfalls or vices?
I mean, isn't well a vice is more. I guess is it a moral thing?
A vice is like a crutch. Like I have a drinking
Uh,
problem.
that's
I
a
don't.
downfall.
I can't drink, so
I
I don't
feel
have
very
that.
attacked that you think that that would be the first thing that comes to your head for me.
No, that's not what I.
No,
That's not. That was an example. Get out of here with your nonsense.
I know. Um, what is my crutch?
I thought you were gonna say crotch. What is my crotch? And I was like, we don't need to discuss that
Like
today.
or ever? That's okay. We don't. Okay. Um, what is my crutch?
Do you
See
have one?
now everything's just like topsy turvy because I thought it was just like an impending downfall, like a character flaw, and I was like they're all synonymous, and I'm like now I'm. What is
Well,
my vice? You tell me.
I don't know, because like character flaws. So like character flaw for me is totally different than like the two things that I just described. Or like my
Right.
character flaw is that I'm stupid proud, and I need to like get over that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well,
um,
that's what I would think. Okay. Well, never mind. Well, this makes nothing makes sense anymore. Uh, I guess I'm just gonna go take myself out. Um,
would you say that your vice? Because I wonder if you and I have a similar vice in the sense of like spending money for happiness. You spent $300 on pops.
it's more like 550 right now, but let's not talk about it. It's so irresponsible. But I got a really good deal on some good ones, so we're not gonna we can't harp on this. So my advice is that I I will be money conscious to a detriment, and then I will just binge irresponsibly. Like, no, I can't go get food with you because I need to save money. Oh, you want to go get food? Here, let's go get food every day for 3 days in a row for all meals, and I'll pay
Yeah.
for it all. What? Nothing makes sense. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I
That's like
also
the
didn't
only
need to get a
thing.
new car, and then I just got a new car. I
I
did
did?
need to get a new car. No, I still have my RAV4.
Oh,
But did I necessarily need to get it? My thought was yes, because it didn't have all-wheel drive in Appalachia with snow. Um, which to me was like, yeah, you should probably do that because you live at that point. I lived in the highest elevated incorporated place in Pennsylvania,
yeah.
and they got a lot of snow, so it made sense that I got something that would deal with snow well. But
Yes.
was it irresponsible? I found out, actually, fun fact, I've had my car. It'll be 2 years in September, and I've paid $8,000 so far, which is
Ooh.
I've gone from 25,000 from the loan down to about I've paid a total of 8,000, so I owe 15. I know that doesn't make sense, but technically I've saved 2,000 by paying extra every
Yeah.
time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then I was like, if you multiply that by three, because that's kind of what's left. I paid eight, I owe 15. I was like, if you multiply by three, that means I only have 4 more years left. And I was like, wait, but the loan was 6 years. So realistically, I've saved no time. So I don't know what's happening. I'm just like, everything's fine. Everything's going so well. And I'm like, oh, right. Uh-huh.
Like, I'm still on track. Okay.
Yeah, kind of. I'm ahead of the game, but I'm not.
Oh, I
So
need
yeah,
to
I guess I have some vices, and it's related to money, which makes sense because we've talked about that.
pay my student loan.
D-
Speaking of money, paying things off. Student loans are for the birds.
I was like, there's one that's like, will we be friends in 10 years? And I'm like, we've made it this long.
I feel like when you like I am aware that I say like a lot and I am working on that.
Like
Um
totally.
but I feel that there's like a year markage that you go over, like a precipice,
Mm-hmm.
and then like yes. Yep.
And then it's just you're stuck with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're even for the worst part of them. And I feel
Uh-huh.
like that's kind of um, that's a really good way to think about it, because I think about my friends from high school and we're completely different people, but I can't see my life without them, even though there are times where I'm like, we need to advance your thinking.
Yeah.
And I need to, if I were to meet you all right now, would I still be friends with you? Or would I
Yeah.
be friends with you? Is a question. Like, I mean, it's the idea of like you can't pick your family,
True.
even though you can, because
Yeah,
family is
cuz
a concept.
I think about my best friend Becca all the time
Hi,
where
Becca.
we've been
Does she
through
listen to us?
she's one of the
I was
11.
like, I was
Um
like, you can't be friends with Becca if she doesn't listen to us.
she does. Listens to us and she laughs. I had her funny story. I had her listen.
That's
It's funny.
that's the only qualifications you need to listen to this podcast is listen and laugh.
Listen.
Anyway.
um but I had whenever she came to visit me and we went and picked tulips for her birthday to
Hmm.
celebrate her birthday after um we listened to the podcast on the way down, and there were points and times where you would say something. Ah!
The ghosts in my apartment are angry.
um there'd be points and times where you would say something and she would respond back to it the same way that I responded to it.
Oh,
And I was just in that moment I was just like, huh, look at that. We
this is
are
what friendship is.
Yeah, we are that close.
Yeah.
Um not that I didn't like not that I needed to prove because we've been best friends for over 10 years.
Right.
So,
And this is when best friend stuff counts. Not that bullshit when you were born in the same year and you're like, we've been friends for 10 years and we're 10 years old. And I'm like, bitch, you didn't know each other.
you didn't. You
You
didn't.
didn't. No.
No. So that loud sound was dog stuff falling from heaven.
What? Those weren't real words.
Dog stuff falling from heaven. So yeah, wait, what were we talking about? Go back. Sorry.
Nothing. Nope. Let's move on. What? Honestly, I'm a hot mess express, and
Me too. Between like
I was getting ready, and I didn't know you were gonna go on. So
between feeling just randomly angry and giddy because the semester is finally wrapping up, anger for like other reasons, I think that like I have hit a precipice of people and being around people, and I think it's because I have developed into more of an introvert than an extrovert, and that's okay. I still like people, but I want to be gone of I don't want to be needed the way that I've been needed recently. Um but yeah. I don't know where that
good.
was going. That was like a
You
stupid
just like,
interjection.
and yeah, just
No,
finish at 75%.
I
All right.
was flapping my arms like a damn bird.
So, have you ever been fired, and if so, what for?
No, but I was close.
Good. It says if not, why not?
Um, because I was angry about it. So I was
Pride.
put
There it is again.
It is pride. It is pride.
Always pride. Always
I
pride.
know who I am as a person.
I know. Self awareness in this one is strong.
When I talk about cuz talking about that in interviews is really challenging because it's
Yeah.
I'm a little pride in the sense that I take super pride in my work, but there are also times where like that pride is bad because I won't ask for help. I'll do anything and everything because I want to make people proud and I want to make myself proud. And then it's just a spiral, and then it also translates into other aspects of my life of me being like, I'm a proud person and I don't ever want to look like an idiot, but I feel like I look like an idiot every damn day. And I think I just come to terms with looking like an idiot, and like that's kind of my brand, and that's our brand at the end of it all. And that's why we're here talking to you, and now I'm just having a stupid like randomly
We're
ramble.
spiraling. Let's do it. We're here. We're already here. Why'd you get fired?
I
Why
didn't get
didn't you get fired?
I didn't get fired. um I didn't get fired, but I almost did, kind of. Um, so when I worked in Texas, I was put on probation for not basically not being compliant, but the situation wasn't that I wasn't compliant, it's that the person in charge wasn't the best. Um, and so cuz I wanted to fly home and I booked my flight out and they gave us specific dates at first and they were like just tell your supervisor when you plan on leaving. So I did that and then booked my flights because booking flights is expensive. Well, it was. It's not really anymore. It probably will be in the near future. But I am also a mess. I'm so sorry, everybody listening. So I put
Uh-huh.
I put
I
I
was like,
put
I don't know why you're a mess, but that just okay.
I'm really rambly today. I'm sorry. I think it's because I don't have direction right now for myself. Um, Other than to answer
Okay.
this question, that I'm not answering the question
So you were almost fired because you bought a plane ticket. Continue.
because I bought a plane ticket to go home, and I was put on like I was written up and almost put on probation for it because I was going to miss training. So when the write up happened, she didn't like she was like because you're tardy in the future, you're getting written up. And then because you did this thing, you practiced insubordinate, like you were insubordinate. And I was in my head was just the like processing that. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I sat with it, got really angry, and then was very sad. Um and then process it some more, and then filed a grievance because I was like, this isn't fair, this isn't okay. And my grievance went through, thank God, and I ended up meeting with the director, and that was kind of comedic because his response to me was very contradictory of itself. Um, so
Oh,
yeah, it was just a weird. It was an all around very weird situation that like was kind of inappropriate, but that's how I almost lost my job. Also because I was on probation and didn't know how to shut up, which is
uh-huh.
like my own personal problem. So,
Okay.
because like when I see things that when I have an opinion, again, pride, opinion about how to make something more effective or more efficient or to function a little bit better, I like to share that. And being from the north, northerners are abrasive and
The
southerners are
North
not.
remembers.
The north does remember. And southerners aren't as abrasive. So when I came into spaces, I also learned that I came in really hot,
Hmm.
which surprised there, right?
You
I
never.
know.
No, that would never
So
happen.
So yeah. So that's how I
Okay.
almost got fired.
I uh I worked at a little well-known amusement park that I will not name, and I was a cotton candy boy, and I made my cotton candy, and I did a great job. I made so much cotton candy every day for basically 2 summers, and then the last 2 summers I did that, and then I worked at a Starbucks stand. Now, I think it was the last summer I was there. It was my senior year of high school. I'm trying to think if I worked the summer. Yeah, it was the summer between high school and did I come back? Nevertheless, there was a summer. There was a summer that my friend went to basic training and then was coming back. Uh, And so I specifically requested off, and I was told no. And I was like, well, I've worked every single day this summer. I've given you no issues. I requested well in advance for this, and I will be taking off. So I took off. I saw my friend who came back from the military, and I got a phone call. I'm sorry, I didn't get a phone call. My friend, who was in the same friend group, who also took off for the same reason, got a phone call saying that she was terminated and she needs to relay that she could just relay that information to me. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was never officially terminated, but I was. So I wait a week and with all of my pride, was like, I'm going to fold up my shirts all nicely and I'm going to drop it on his desk because I was a very upset 16 turning 17 going into senior year old. And so I folded all my shirts up nicely and I'm like, here we go. I'm going to go say goodbye. So I go in and I'm like, I just wanted to give you my shirts and say goodbye and pick up my last check. And he's like, let's have a talk. And he's like, I just need you to understand what was happening. And so then that day that I went to drop off my shirts, he asked me to come back and I worked that day. And I worked basically every day after that. But
How
he's
does
like,
that
I need you to
happen?
I know. I was like, I came in here to be an asshole, and you want me to work? Of course I will. Give me money. Um, and that's how. And I was fired and rehired, and I was not asked back the next summer. So
They said not today, sir.
I know. And listen, it was a summer job. I was very happy with who I worked with. I was not happy with what I did. I will say I am a killer cotton candy maker, and I will flaunt that till the day I die. Some of the things that we do and the jobs that we work, there may be a cotton candy machine, and I will flaunt my knowledge and power in that situation. Like, you need a cotton candy person, I will be your person. You need a barista for the day, let me know. I would love to own my own coffee shop. Now that I think about it, that would
Ooh,
be
that would be
It
fun.
would be awful, but I love the process of like making lattes and cappuccinos and all that good stuff.
I would. I wanted to have a coffee shop at one point in time.
Is Are we gonna have an unarticulate coffee shop?
Oh,
They're like, I need the unarticulate coffee, and I'm like, yeah,
look at us
drip
trying
drip,
to brand ourselves. Drip, drip.
drip drip. Get that drip coffee.
We could, we could make London fogs, but make them better.
I don't know if it can get better.
I don't know either, but we'll figure it out.
They're so good. Starbucks, take my money. I love how these past episodes have come back to money and conversations about finances. And I'm like, like, it's very, like, I'm so irresponsible and I'm going to do better. And my action plan is to be thrifty and save. And then I'm like, when are we spending money? I'm just energized on the thrill and the rush of spending money.
Spending money.
Spend it so fast. I
My
just got paid
puppy.
on Friday, and I'm like, how are we going?
I get paid this Friday.
I don't know why that's exciting. Exciting.
Money.
Yeah.
It's my first. Nope, that's a lie. It's my last paycheck before furlough. Do you have another card?
What
Oh,
a
your companion
statement.
card.
I'm like, what can we finish up about? Oh, let me just pick a random. There we go.
Yeah. Bless you.
These suck. That's not true. This one, I feel like, is a good way for us to tie everything up. So,
Uh-huh.
do
Moose!
your best.
He's
Oh,
right
there's.
there.
Where? Hey. Hey, baby. Yeah, he's just chilling. Is he gonna do something cute? Yeah, yeah, he is. All right. So do your best or worst impression of me. I promise to clap appreciatively.
I think. I think the only thing that I could probably do is the like the weird.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Where it's just like, ooh.
I haven't done that in a long time.
There was a
Yeah.
point in time when you used to do that, and I was like, oh,
Do you know
oh.
why I did that? I genuinely believe that I'm fake. In the way that I've picked up little things from people without realizing, and that was from summer of 2016, summer of 2016, because I worked in Trio Upward Bound, and my supervisor was Abby Kolendusky, I think it was her last, how you pronounced it, and then the head TM was Paige Friesma, and the two of them together caused that to happen to me. So I'm just like, oh, good, yes, yes, oh.
Oh.
Um, so I was gonna say the best. Oh wait, I have to applaud that, right? That was thank you. I mean, I feel like I've done it way more since you've done it,
Yes.
which is that's just rude on my behalf. Um, I was gonna say the only thing, uh, you you kind of do this thing when you get like really like passionate, but not, but like aggressively passionate, but like are trying to make a statement. You tend to talk to the side of your mouth, like you're just like, you know, like I think like I'm not doing the best of it, but
It's
that's
the right side.
you know, you know, I can't do
I talk out
and
of
I
the
don't
right
even
side
know
of
what
my
to say.
mouth.
I don't even know what to say is a good
Somebody
oh,
needs to
there's
tell you this.
somebody needs to tell you this. Yeah. Thank you. I was like, I never noticed that before until that card came up. I was like,
I do. I
now that
talk
I
it.
think about it, have you
I
ever so Twilight Jasper when he's like battle scars, like that's like you're like something between regular face talking and that where he's like severely like right there. You're like, battle scars. You're like perfectly in the middle.
good. Yeah, I know. Um, I know. I've been told that I talk out of the right, like it's the right side, because
Yeah,
it just.
you don't, but it's when you get really, really not like sarcastic, but intentional, but impactful, but in like the negating what they're saying type of way. Like you're
What?
debating, you're almost debating, but also you're. I'm just saying so many things, and that's the point of this podcast. We don't know how to speak, so thank you all so much for. I'm just gonna wrap it up, right?
I
Thank
rambled
you all so
on. You were almost
I
rambling on.
know. Right. So thank you all so much for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Unarticulate Podcast, one word. You can find us on the YouTubes at Unarticulate Podcast. You can find us on all the places you like to pod, such as Apple Music. Nope. Apple Podcast. Uh, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, wherever you like to pod, that's where we are. That's where we love to find you. Goodbye. Mwah, love you. What? That was bad.